Paramahimscha. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Krishna Padaya Krishna Krishna Shri Vishnu Shri Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswata Devim Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Stale Stale Yasya Kripa Prabhabihi Krishnanya Trishna Jana Samhitanam Nirmulita Eva Bhavanti Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadgadaruddhaya Gira Pulakair Nichitair Vapukada Tavanama Grahani Bhavishyati Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Dev Narayanam Namaskatyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayat Tathapi Kirtayami Yanga Yadamatim Yadashrutam Kirtim Harim Swam Satkartum Giram Anyabhidasatim Stitir Seva Gatir Yatra Smatir Chinta Stutir Vacha Bhuyat Sarvatmana Vishnu Mahityam Tvaicheshtita Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om
Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So, Bhagavad Pravaha. All right. I think we can go ahead and start, Prabhu. So, Bhagavad Pravaha. So, where are we in Bhagavad Pravaha? We heard the overview of Bhagavatam and then the whole Bhagavatam. How Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself. And then the summary of Bhagavatam just in 1 hour. After that, the first canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto, seventh canto, eighth canto, ninth canto, 10th canto. And we are in 11th canto. 11th canto, Mukti. So in 11th canto, we heard about the setting the scene of Yadu dynasty. And after that, the Narada Muni was instructing Vasudeva. And there we heard about how Maharaj Nimi got all these teachings from Navayogendras, right? So Maharaj Nimi meeting Navayogendra, that's what we heard in the last session. And now, today we will be hearing about the start of Uddhava Gita. Before that, the demigods come and pray to Lord Krishna. So we will be hearing about the demigods praying to Lord Krishna and the start of Uddhava Gita. It will be starting with the lessons from 24 gurus in Uddhava Gita. So these two are the topics we'll be hearing. Okay. So we will go to the PowerPoint. I'm gonna share that. Yes. So that's, yeah, Yadu dynasty retides to Prabhasa. That also happens. So, so what happens? So Narada Muni instructed Vasudeva. And after that, what happens is all the demigods along with Brahma, they come to Lord Krishna. And why did they come? What happened after they came there? Let's see. So Brahma, from Brahmaloka, he came to Dwaraka. Brahma, along with his associates, Indra with his associates, and Lord Shiva with his associates, all of them, they came down to Dwaraka. And all these demigods, they brought these beautiful garlands made of these flowers from heaven. And they offered those garlands to the Lord, to Dwarakadisha. And they were offering these prayers. Natahasmate natha padaravindam buddhindriya pranamano vachobhihi yachintyate antarhridi bhavayuktaye mumukshubhi karmamayurupashat. So demigods, they're saying, oh Krishna, natahasmate natha padaravindam. Nataha, we are bowing down. Natahasma te natha padaravindam. O Natha, O Lord, to your padaravindam, the lotus feet, we are bowing down. Buddhindriya prana mano vachobhihi. We are bowing down with our buddhi, intelligence, indriya, senses, prana, life air, mano, mind, vachobhi, words. Yeah. And yachintyate antarhridi bhavayuktair. And yachintyate, oh, whoever meditates, antarhridi, in their heart, bhavayuktair, with bhava. Mumukshabhi karma mayoru pashat. These munis, in their meditation, only they get to see your lotus feet, O Lord. But we get to see you, see the whole form of you. That is our great fortune over our Lord. And we are bowing down to your lotus feet with our intelligence, with our senses, with our life air, with our manas, mind and words. So in this way, demigods beautifully offered their prayers, and of course, kind of reinstated their fortune that they could have darshan of the Lord. And they offered these beautiful flowers from the heavenly planets. And then they continue to offer these prayers, that you are the creator, maintainer, and destroyer. But still, you are not touched by it. And they also say this one thing. Vedic study, charity, austerity, rituals, none of those things purify the anybody. But it's Krishna Katha that purifies the people. It's Krishna Katha that purifies the devotees. And rest of the practitioners who do the Vedic study, charity, austerity, rituals, they don't get purified. Why like that? Krishna Katha purifies, but not the rest of them. It's the same thing. Rahugana, Jadabharata, he states the same thing to King Rahugana. Rahuganaye tapasanayaite na chaityaya nirvipanad grihadva na chandasaye jalagni suryair vina mahatpadarajobhishekam. So, as Jadabharata was saying there, none of these things, the Vedic study and strict Varnashrama dharmas, and then yoga, the charity, the penances, rituals, none of them will really give us bhakti. It is only the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees that gives bhakti. That's what Jadabharata was saying. And the dust of the pure devotees of the lotus feet, what do they speak? They speak Krishna Katha. So why is this Krishna Katha purifying? Because we get to know who we are and our sambandha with the Lord. And when we come to know what our constitutional position is, then we are reinstated in our constitutional position. Thus, the Vishaya Vasana, the desire for sense gratification, goes away. In that way, the Krishna Katha very beautifully takes us away from the sense gratification, reminding us of who we are and what our occupation is. Yeah. And after that, these demigods, they continue to offer prayers. They say, everybody worships your lotus feet, my Lord, but in different ways. Karmis, karma kanda. They also worship the lotus feet, but they do that through the worship of fire sacrifices. And jnanis, they also worship the lotus feet by acquiring the knowledge about your Brahman. Yeah. These are all indirect worships of the lotus feet. But the pure devotees, they want to be in your internal energy, not in the external energy. So that's why they worship your lotus feet. And that's so beautiful, huh? Only by serving the lotus feet of the Lord, only through through meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord and serving the lotus feet of the Lord, one can be in the internal energy. One is in the internal energy means they have automatically crossed over the illusion, the Maya. So like that, the demigods, they also say, your lotus feet, they cause fear in the demons. But the very same lotus feet causes fearlessness in devotees. This indicates to the different auspicious signs that are present on the lotus feet of the Lord. Thunderbolt, the Lord can be as strong as thunderbolt, but at the same time, he can be as soft as a rose flower, petals of the flower. So soft, he is perceived as very soft by the devotees, but by those who are against him, the demons, he is perceived as a thunderbolt. So the same Lord is the lotus feet causes fear in demons and fearlessness in devotees. So in this way, they offer beautiful prayers, and they offer the garland also that they brought from the heaven, and they say, oh Lord, you are so merciful. Look at our garland. I know we know these flowers are from the heavenly planets, but they are faded. They are withered flowers. Yeah, and still you are accepting them. So nice of you, so merciful of you, our Lord. So and they continue the prayers. They say that you are the time supreme controller, you are Mahavishnu, you are never entangled in the course of your activities, because you are the maintainer, but still you're not entangled. And you had 16,108, the 8 Sakhi, 16,000. Yeah. All those wives, But you were never, your mind and senses were never attracted to them. You are attracted only by devotion. So like that, they offer and they say this beautiful prayer. This is, they say there are two tirthas. My Lord, Vipyastavam-ritakathota-vahas-trilokyaah Padavane-jasarita shamalani hantum Anushravam shrutibir angrijam angasangaihi Tirtatvayam shuchisadasta upasprishanti. Demigods are saying these are beautiful. They say there are two tirthas. O Lord, Vibhyas tavamrita kada, tava amrita kada. Your katha, which is like amrita, and vahas trilokyaha. Udavahas trilokyaha means that water that has touched your lotus feet and is flowing through these three planetary systems. That's the water of Mother Ganga. Padavaneja sarita shamalani hantum. And when somebody bathes in this waters, sacred waters of Mother Ganga, their sins go away. Their papa, sins are washed away. Anushravam shrutibir, angrijam angasangai, tirtadvayam suchisadasta upaspranti. But upasprushanti. But the other tirtha, one tirtha is the sacred water of Ganga that is touched by the lotus feet of Lord Hari. And the other tirtha is the sacred amrita of your kada amrita. Yeah. And that kada amrita also, while the sacred waters of Ganga takes away one's sins, Tava kada amrita, your nectarian kada, washes away the sinful tendency of his soul. Isn't that so beautiful, powerful? Actually, you know, these waters of Ganga, or the sacred waters, it is said that the sins are washed away when somebody takes dips in these sacred waters. So many, in India, yeah, many they go to these waters like a pilgrimage to take a dip in there. That is to take away their sins. But the actual purpose behind that is, at those Tirtha Kshetras, the sadhus are present. So when they go to take a dip in the sacred waters, yes, their sins may be washed away, but their sinful tendency still lies there. It's still there. So that needs to be washed away, and that can be washed away by the sadhus who speak Krishna Katha. So like that, there are demigods, they glorify these two kind of tirthas. And after that, Brahma, now he says, oh Lord, yeah, thank you so much. On behalf of us, all our demigods, you have come down to this earth planet and then killed so many demons. And you have passed 125 years in this Yadu dynasty. And almost all of the burden is now on the earth. The burden of the earth is now relieved. Yeah. So if you chose to, dear Lord, you may now kindly return to your abode, but please don't forget that we are dependent on you for your protection. So please always protect us, says Brahma. And Lord Krishna says, yes, yes, I understand your request, Brahma. Yeah, most of the burden from the earth is taken away by, the Kurukshetra war. That's good. But there is still significant burden, and that is from my own family, Yadu dynasty. That also I want to take away. That burden also I want to take away from earth. So it is already in action. Because of my intention, the sages cursed the Yadu dynasty, and the annihilation will happen. Annihilation has begun. The scene has already set. So very soon, all that burden also will be relieved. And soon after that, I will be winding down my pastimes, and I will be heading back to my spiritual abode. And on my way there, I will make a quick stop at your place, says Lord Krishna to Brahma. So, in this way, the conversation happens. Then demigods and Brahma. And then, of course, the demigods, they pray, they pay their respects, and then move to their lokas. And now, after the leave, Lord Krishna, he instructs most of his members in Yadu dynasty, almost all of them, to go to Prabhasa Kshetra, to Prabhasa. Why like that? He says now that the Yadu dynasty, our dynasty, has received curse from the Brahmanas. Yeah, we are already seeing bad omens in Dwaraka. So I think all of us should just go to Prabhasa, and it's a sacred place there, and we should do some rituals for our own atonement, and that will be very nice. So that's what we should do, says Lord Krishna. Then most of the Yadu family members, yeah, they go to Prabhasa on the order of Lord Krishna. We wonder why. Two things here. One is, Dwaraka is a transcendental realm. And Yadu dynasty, in that family, there are two categories. Some of the Yadus are from demigods. The demigods came in the form of Yadus. And some other Yadus are eternal associates of the Lord. So all those Yadus who are previously demigods, who came down as Yadus, they have to go back to do their services in their in the Devaloka. So if they get to killed in Dwaraka, then they will go to transcendental realm. It's not time for them to go there. So if they go to Prabhasa, and when they get killed there, then they will return back to their heavenly kingdoms to resume their duty. So all those Yadus that are from whose origin is from demigods, yeah, those Yadus, those demigods who came as Yadus, those Yadus, they went to Prabhasa. They were sent to Prabhasa. And the rest of the Yadus, they stayed back in Dwaraka. So those are the eternal associates of the Lord. So 1 week from the curse, Dwaraka would be inundated with water, floods. So that's how those Yadus that stayed back, eternal associates of the Lord, they go back to the spiritual realm. So in this way, Lord Krishna directed all these demigod originated Yadus to Prabhasa. Okay. So Uddhava was standing there. Uddhava was just there. He heard it all. He heard demigods and Brahma praying. And then after that, Lord saying, yes, Yadu dynasty is also starting to get destroyed. And then Lord sending most of the Yadus to Prabhasa. So Uddhava, he heard it all and he's seeing it. And now Uddhava, he comes to Lord Krishna. Yeah, that's how we are coming to the final part of our session today. The Uddhava Gita is starting, and this will be about 24 gurus. So Uddhava comes to Lord Krishna. He says, "Oh Lord, your disappearance, it looks like it is imminent, and I cannot stay without you. I am used to staying with you and serving you personally. Can I come with you too, my Lord, so I can continue my service there? Continue my service to you." And then Uddhava also says, Tava vikriditam Krishna nrinam paramamangalam karna piyusham asadhya tyajanti anyaspriham janaha. Again, this is beautiful. Uddhava is saying, Tava vikriditam Krishna nrinam paramamangalam. Your pastimes, Krishna, nrinam for the people, paramamangalam, very auspicious. Because when we relish your pastimes, Krishna, your pastimes are so relishable. The nrinam people, tyajanti anyaspriham janaha. They forget about their miseries. They forget about their time passes and their miseries. So such is the potency of relishment of your pastimes, Krishna. Really relishing pastimes. This is how the spiritual rasa displaces the jada rasa. Jada rasa of rajoguna, tamoguna. So this is how our miseries are replaced by the relishment of the pastimes of the Lord and the qualities of the Lord. That is Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha we are hearing now, right? But it is said that we are eternal Sishyas, where we hear the Krishna Katha of our Gurudeva at all times. So in that way, Krishna Katha should go on within us, even when it is externally not audible. And that is how one is not touched by Maya. So that is Kirtaniya Sadahari. Yeah. If the Krishna Katha doesn't go on inside of us, then the material Katha goes on. The mind will start. Mind waits for an opportunity to start its Katha. That's why Krishna Katha should go on. Glorification of the Lord should go on. If we don't glorify the Lord, then we will start complaining. If there is no glorification, then there will be resentment and complaining. So that's why Kirtaniya Sadahari, Krishna Katha should go on. And also Uddhava, he says, it is your remnants. Tvayopabhukta Shraggandha Vaso Alankara Charchitaha Uchishta Bojino Dasa Stavamayam Jayemahi. See, your remnants have such potency. See, O Lord, your Katha has such potency, and your remnants also have such potency. Yeah, your Uchishta. And that's why these are the ways to conquer Maya, O Lord. So like that he glorifies. And okay, since the Lord is there, the remnants, Uddhava got it. But how about us then? We also have the deities, right? And any remnants from the deities, they also have the potency, and that's why we offer Bhoga, take the prasad. Right. So in that way, externally also accepting the remnants, hearing the Kada, and internally also being in Krishna Bhavana through Krishna Katha. So these are the ways how our Nranam, the people, they would not feel miseries by embracing Krishna Katha in and honoring the activities and the remnants of the Lord outside. So, and he also says, by chanting, remembering, and glorifying your deeds, we will overcome impossible ignorance. That is so very well said by Uddhava. Impossible ignorance. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Whatever plans you may come up with. You think you are smart enough to come up with the plans? That is my Maya. Mind is my Maya, and you're playing with my Maya. You're sitting in my Maya and coming up with the plans. Mama Maya Dhuratyaya. Impossible ignorance. And how is that overcome? Simply by prapatyante. Mam eva ye prapatyante. taking shelter of the Krishna Katha, taking shelter of the Seva, and shelter of the Smarana of the Bhagavan. So in that way, Prapatti will help us overcome this ignorance. Yeah, so Krishna, Uddhava glorifies Lord Krishna, and he then so Lord Krishna says, yeah, yes, Uddhava, yes, now it's time for me to go. My mission is completed now. Yes, you're right. I will be leaving. And oh, Uddhava, you're such pure-hearted one. After I leave, the Kali Yuga is going to come. Kali Yuga is going to come, and you don't you don't stay. You don't be affected in this Kali Yuga. It will be overwhelming. So you just give the message that I'm going to give you to the sages in Badrikashrama, which is like Uddhava Gita that he's going to speak. But you wander on the earth after I leave this world. You wander on this earth with detachment. Kali Yuga is filled with sinful activities. So you maintain equal vision, subdue your senses, subdue your mind. With detachment, you wander on the earth. Lord says that. And Uddhava says that with detachment, renunciation is very hard, Krishna. Uddhava, for Uddhava it is not hard, but for our sake, he's saying. So it is so difficult to have that kind of detachment, renunciation. How can one get that renunciation, detachment? And then Lord Krishna says, with jnana, with the knowledge, again, this is Uddhava Gita. In Uddhava Gita, all the topics are discussed. The one that we are going to hear now is more of jnana oriented. But at the very end, we will hear, when the next session starts next week, then we will hear, yeah, that's all the theory, but the practice is you start bhakti. He will say that in the next session. But now that he's speaking about jnana, so that's why this information, this session now is about jnana. So Lord Krishna says, yeah, through jnana, because there are people who think, yes, we can get renunciation through just jnana. So Lord Krishna is speaking their version. He will speak that first, and then later he will say what to do practically. So Lord Krishna is saying, yeah, you get jnana, and then you get this jnana, and then when you start acting on the platform, you get vijnana, the realizations. In this way, you will come to know that you are your pure self, spirit soul. And then your mind will be satisfied. And when your mind is satisfied, then you will become dear to all jivas and demigods, and nothing will disturb you in your life. Dear devotees, it's the same thing here too. So the mind is satisfied, not when we put special efforts on mind to satisfy it. That will never satisfy. Mind is satisfied when we are perceiving ourselves in our own form, the pure form. In other words, when we are attached spiritually, that's when our mind also gets solace. We're talking about the inner child and the caregiver mother, like that. So the mind is not satisfied by attending to it, tending to it. Mind can be held. Mind can be held, yes. We take the hand of the mind, the child, but go to Krishna. Together, go to Krishna. So only by attaching ourselves spiritually, then we will be able to see that the mind is satisfied. And when that mind or inner child, when that is satisfied completely by attaching ourselves to Krishna, and taking the mind to Krishna, then there will be a complete satisfaction inside. There is no more noise, crying and shouting and angry and resentment and all those things. They are all subdued, whatever is there in the mind. Because that is subdued, then the person is fulfilled inside, satisfied inside. And that fulfilled, satisfied person, then they become dear to all the jivas and demigods. And when somebody is fulfilled like that, satisfied like that, because they have identified themselves as spiritual, then nothing from outside can cause any disturbance to them. This is tapanti vividastapanaita. Tapatrayas. The misery born from our own self because of the mind, and miseries because of others, other beings. And this is how the tapatrayonmulam happens. But to note that one should perceive oneself spiritually. That is the solution here. So on this note, Lord Krishna says, Lord Krishna said, yeah, Uddhava, with the jnana, you get vijnana, and that's how you get the detachment or renunciation. He says that. So, and also Lord Krishna beautifully says, so then this particular person who is completely self-satisfied, he becomes dear to all the jivas. He's not disturbed by anyone, and he is simple like a child. He behaves like an innocent child. Simplicity. He's simple like an innocent child, and he will never fall down anymore in the samsara. Like that, Lord Krishna says. And then Uddhava asks, oh Krishna, you said obtain jnana for renunciation. How to obtain jnana? What is the method of obtaining that jnana? Uddhava is asking. And Lord Krishna is saying, this is a beautiful shloka. And the main point of this shloka is Narayanam Narasakam Sharanyam Prapatte. Here Uddhava was saying, I am fed up. I am fed up with this stress in this world. As if Uddhava is fed up, but for our sake he's saying, I am fed up and now I want to get detached. That is one thing, dear devotees. So the challenges here in this world, the world of Dukkhalayam, the purpose of those Dukkham challenges is for us to get detached to this temporary situation and get attached to the permanent situation of being servant of Guru and Krishna, loving servant of Guru and Krishna. Yeah. That is one thing from that shloka. So then Lord Krishna says, yeah, okay, this is how you get jnana. You should become your own guru. Wow, what is this? Is this what we are hearing for the first time in Srimad Bhagavatam? Lord Krishna is saying you should become your own guru. This is Uddhava Gita. And in Jnana Yoga, their main faculty is to use their own intelligence and observation and analysis like that. Because Lord Krishna is speaking about the jnana, that's why he's saying, with your intelligence, with your perception and logic, you should become guru and you should start learning. Well, this is not wrong, because we will see. Whatever we hear today, they are not wrong. They're not wrong. But at the end, we will realize what is the place of all this learning. How far can this get us to? Nevertheless, we can hear all these teachings in light of, how the creation of the Lord is presenting us different reminders about how the qualities that we learn from these 24 gurus will help us get closer to Krishna. So on that note, we will hear these 24 gurus that Lord Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. So Lord Krishna says, see, use your perception and use your logic, and that's how you can acquire knowledge. And through this knowledge, you can develop renunciation, he says. And in that regard, O Uddhava, I'll tell you this. See, once upon a time, there was an Avaduta. And a king from Yadu dynasty asked this Avaduta, oh, a saintly person, oh Avaduta, you look so peaceful. I mean, you look healthy, but you're not really working. You are not working, but you seem to be very satisfied, undisturbed, and you don't seem to have any desires. So how is it that you are maintaining this state of not being pulled to anything outside and being so satisfied inside? So would you please tell me how you are able to maintain this? And then this Avaduta, he says, Atmano Gururatmaiva Purushasya Visheshataha Yat Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam Shreyo Asau Anuvindate. So this Pratyaksha, Anumana, these are all different modalities of gaining knowledge. Pratyaksha is the one that you see with your eyes. You need the proof. You need to see it to believe it. That is Pratyaksha. Anumana is you come to an inference. If there is smoke here, there must be fire. So all these are different kind of modalities to perceive the truth, to know the truth. These are described in 6 different philosophies, 6 systems, 6 Shad-darshan, 6 systems of philosophies, different modalities. So this is based on the logic thing, and that's what Lord Krishna is talking about, Pratyaksha and Anumana. Use your intelligence and use your logic. So this Avaduta is saying, see, with my intelligence and logic, I have learned the lessons from different gurus on this earth. So I don't have just one guru. I have many gurus. Everybody around me is a guru. And it could be a living being or non-living being. So I have 25 gurus that I learned from. And I'll share with you what I learned from them. And that is what helps me to be in this detached form. That's what Avaduta Brahmana was saying. So in this 25 gurus, there are non-living things like 5 elements, Panchamahabhutas, the planets, water bodies, flies, insects, birds, animals, human beings, everybody is there. So this Avaduta Brahmana, he considered every living and non-living, everything as guru. In the sense, he was learning something from anything that he's seeing around, animate or inanimate, living or non-living. That is wonderful. Yeah. Whatever helps us get closer to Krishna and remind us and reinforces the qualities that are dear to Krishna, yes, we'll take those reminders. So what is it? We will go through it concisely. There are 25. Yeah, we'll just go it in a concise way. So the first 5 elements are a lesson from the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. All these 5 of them, they belong to these 5 elements, Panchamahabhuta. What are the lessons from the first category? First thing from the earth is tolerance. And from mountain and tree. Mountain and tree also come from earth. From the whole thing, tolerance. Tolerate like earth. Tolerate like tree. And mountains are, both mountain and tree are selfless because they give. Mountain gives, rivers, falls, herbs, and tree also gives so much. So, tolerance and selflessness. What does it remind of? Trinadapi, right? Okay, we'll take it. Yes, please. Tolerance. Tolerance is such a requisite for us, dear devotees, for us to be peaceful, actually. And next, air. See, prana is the internal air. The breathing, right? The breath that we take, prana, is internal. It's in a small place, just in the windpipe, right? In the respiratory system, just there. But still, the lesson from it is satisfaction. Even if that prana is in a little space, it is still satisfied. And the same air, when it is outside, it is unlimited, it is everywhere, and it just moves from anywhere to anywhere. And whether it is passing through the garbage or passing through the garden of flowers, it is not attached to it. So detachment. So he's learning detachment through the vast amount of air that is present outside. Okay, we'll take it. Detachment. Be detached to anything that is not conducive to bhakti, not pleasing to Krishna. Then, the satisfaction, internal satisfaction. Whatever little bit is there, the prana air is satisfaction, is the next lesson he learned. Yes, satisfied. Satisfied and grateful with whatever is given so far. Good. And sky. Sky does not mix with anything, and it is never affected. Yeah. So like that, soul also passes through many bodies, and that's why we should not be affected with whatever body we are in. Okay, got it. And then water. Water is a purifying agent. So it is compared to a saintly person who purifies others. And when the water falls, the waterfalls are like pleasing sounds. And those pleasing sounds are compared to chanting the glories of the Lord. That's very nice. So that's water. So when we look at water, then we can think of saintly persons, how they purify others. And when we hear the sound of water, we can think, oh, this is like chanting the glories of the Lord. This is good. Good. And next, fire. Fire is really good. There are many here, but we'll just say three things. Fire glows. Again, fire is compared here for a saintly person, with a saintly person. Saintly person glows with saintly qualities. Effulgent with saintly qualities. And fire is unshakable. Saintly person is also unshakable. Why unshakable? Because he's holding on to unshakable platform. Yeah. And he wouldn't be saintly person if he's holding on to mind, because it's a shakable platform. So fire compared to saintly person, and he's unshakable. And he's purifying. Fire is purifying, right? So saintly person is also purifying. And the other thing is, fire, if not handled properly, we get burnt. So saintly person, if not offered due respect, then we will be creating aparadas. So that was about fire. And next we'll come to the other things. Moon, sun, pigeon, and python. Okay, moon. What did you learn from moon? Avaduta Brahmana, he says, oh yeah, moon, I am seeing that as soul. See, on different days, moon appears differently because of whatever day of the month it is. But actually, the moon is not being diminishing. It only appears diminishing, but it doesn't diminish. Yeah, like, Amavasya. Then we don't see the moon. It doesn't mean that the moon doesn't exist. It just doesn't appear on that day, on which day of the month it is. Like that. So moon is like a soul. And as moon is not affected, the soul is also not affected by changing the bodies, as the moon is not affected by different days in a month. And then sun. Okay, what did you learn from the sun? Sun is is also like a saintly person. Very good. He's seeing saintly person in many things, because sun takes the water from the ocean. Yeah, evaporates and takes the water from the ocean and then gives back the same water as clouds, doesn't hold anything back, doesn't claim anything as his. Yeah, so that's one thing. Then, yeah, pigeon. What did you learn from the pigeon? This is more like, what did you learn not to do from the pigeon? Pigeons, generally pigeons they are very excessively attached to the family. Excessively attached to the family, and thus are buried in the misery. That's where the pigeon, there is a story where a female pigeon gets stuck in the net, and then cries. Female pigeon starts crying, and the male pigeon also couldn't see that, so doesn't notice that that the hunter is there with the arrow ready to shoot, and goes and tries to rescue the female pigeon, but he also gets stuck there like that. So pigeon is undue attachment for the family members, to a point that they don't realize that they are being trapped also. Yeah, that we should not do. That is the lesson from the pigeon. Python doesn't really go here and there. It just stays at one place and then eats whatever comes in its way. It's not that I'm learning laziness from python, but the lesson. Avadhuta Brahmana is being smart like a honeybee. He's only seeing the nice things to learn. So for python, he is not learning laziness. He doesn't see it that way. He says there was not much effort put to obtain the food. It's just depending on the Lord's mercy. That's what he was learning, just to depend on Lord's mercy and then obtain whatever is available. And ocean also, saintly person. Very good. Saintly person. It looks like Avadhuta Brahmana wherever he was looking. If he didn't know what to compare, he compared it to saintly person, which is good. But ocean is certainly like a saintly person. Very calm and composed, especially even when the rivers are coming and are merging into the ocean still maintains its grave position, right? So ocean is like that, saintly person with all integrity. Then what not to learn from moth, without thinking twice, just rushes into the fire. So one should not be like that, thoughtless, and enter into sense gratification. That's from moth. Honeybee takes essence from different flowers. That's how one should take essence from all scriptures. But again, there was one more lesson from a donkey. Where is that? The lesson from a donkey. It isn't here. That is, the donkey carries a lot of weight on it. So if somebody carries so much weight, so much knowledge on them, but there is no realization, it is not of much use. So like honeybee, just get the honey, just get the honey. That's one lesson. And the other lesson from honeybee that Avadhuta Brahmana learned is, don't be greedy, because honeybee collects all the honey and then puts it in its, honeycomb. And when somebody wants to extract honey, then of course these honeybees that are there in the honeycomb, they get killed. So if somebody is greedy, then that's not good for them. So that's the other lesson he has learned from honeybee. And elephant. Yeah, elephant. What he learned was, don't yield to the touch of opposite gender. Don't yield to the impulses. That's the lesson he has learned from the elephant. From the deer, Deer being bewildered by sweet music gets killed. So don't get attracted. Don't get attracted to any sound that would cause danger. Okay. And fish, a fish, because it wants that little worm that is hooked up through the fisherman's net. Because of that, the fish gets trapped. So that's why don't be trapped with the taste. Don't be trapped with the taste. So don't get trapped with the touch, with the taste, with the sound that will bind you here. These are the lessons he's sharing. And Pingala, prostitute. Yeah, this is a good one actually. There was a prostitute by name Pingala. This is a really good one, dear devotees, actually. Our mind is also like that. That's why. Her name comes again and again. Pingala prostitute is compared to our mind. So this prostitute, this lady, one day she stands at her door and she was thinking, it has been a late night, and she was thinking, oh, there were no customers today. And I've been tired of looking at everybody and thinking if that man would come to me or that man would come to me, yeah, and give me some enjoyment or give me some money. Oh, this is ridiculous. No, I am tired of this. I'm fed up with this. I don't want to look for um, I don't want to depend on the money that is given by these people. And I don't want to get enjoyment from these mortal beings. Why should I? When I have the Lord in my heart, I should be depending on Him. And I will get eternal enjoyment with Him. So I should be focusing within. I shouldn't be looking for people outside. I should be looking for the Lord within. That's a great, great one. Pingala prostitute. Yeah. So in that way, this is the lesson Avaduta learned from this prostitute. Oh, her life is very successful that she got that realization and she could do that. Yeah, like that. And we're almost there. Kurari bird. Kurari bird is, when the hunter wanted to kill this Kurari bird, he put a piece of meat, hoping that Kurari bird will come and take the meat, and then he can kill Kurari bird. But Kurari bird, she doesn't go for that meat. Kurari bird's instinct said, no, don't go for the meat, you'll be killed. So it foregoes that meat and flies away from there. So a jiva should be like that. It should give up the material desires and just fly for the real happiness of the soul. That's also beautiful. Yeah. And from the child, what did you learn? Oh, Avaduta Brahmana. Oh, child is like a sage. He doesn't care for honor or dishonor. We don't know which child Avaduta Brahmana is talking about. Maybe a little child. Yeah. So yes, so that's the one that he learned. And yeah, and a lesson from a young girl. This is a story, where there was a young girl to parents, and the parents went out to get something, and the young girl was at home, and there are many guests that came in, and this girl had to cook for these guests. So she had bangles on her hand, and she had to, in those days, if somebody is cooking, not one person cooks, but many people come and help cook. If only one person is cooking, it means they don't have maid servants and they're poor. So this young girl did not wanted these guests to know that they're poor family. So, but if she is working with the bangles, then they would come to know there's only one set of the bangles that are ringing. And they would come to know there's only one girl is cooking, probably their poor family. She didn't want it to know. So she took off all the bangles so they don't make any sound. She wore only 2 bangles. Even those 2 bangles were causing sound, making sound. So she just wore 1 bangle. What is the lesson did he learn? Avanti Brahmana. He said, wherever there are 2 people, there will be an argument. This is more for jnanis though. not for the devotees. For the devotees, wherever there are two devotees, then the glorification of the Lord happens and the service happens together. That's good for the devotees. We do it together, Sankirtanam. But that example is for the jnanis. And arrow maker is there. Okay, snake. What did he learn from the snake? For snake also looked like a saintly person to Avanti Brahmana. Why like that? Because snake remains alone. Okay, so that is from the snake. And spider, what did he learn? Oh, spider reminded him of the Lord, because spider creates the web and it maintains the web for some time, and then it takes back its web. It destroys its own web. So that was reminding him of the Lord. Yeah. And yeah, wasp. The wasp, when the wasp captures weak insects, it is said that the insects meditate on wasp so much that the insect will attain that form. So that's the example Avadhuta Brahmana is saying. This wasp reminds him of Jiva, because Jiva thinks of Paramatma. Atma thinks of Paramatma so much, absorbed in the thoughts of Paramatma so much, that Jiva also gets the qualities of Paramatma. That's a good one. Yeah. That example also we hear again and again, the wasp. Even Lord Krishna also mentions that in Gita. The last one, 25th, Guru, is what? The body, our own body. And how there are many lessons that he learned from this body, that this body is the fruit of the karma and it will burn into ashes anyway, so just stay detached. That's the main lesson. We will take it. So those are the lessons from the 25 gurus. Avadhuta Brahmana says that. And of course he says, yeah, just from one guru I cannot, I will not be able to obtain complete knowledge. So I have many gurus around. Again, this is about the jnana, and he's using his own intelligence and his logic. And that's why Avadhuta Brahmana is saying that. But we have to remember that beyond this, conditioned soul has 4 defects: Brahma, Vipralipsa, Pramada, and Karna Patava. Illusion. Conditioned soul is prone to illusion. Yes, Lord Krishna said, okay, use your logic and intelligence. This is the most one could come to, using the logic and illusion, but still there can be pitfalls. That's why, what are those pitfalls? Why? Because of these 4 defects in the conditioned soul. One is illusion. The jiva is prone to illusion, thinking real as unreal, unreal as real. Like this material world is like a reality, and spirituality is like a dream, unreal. In actuality, it is vice versa. We are so much engrossed, thinking that, oh, this is the body, this is the family, these are the people around. The whole life is spent in this consciousness. In actuality, it's the Lord. It's the Lord and our eternal family. That's the actuality. Such an illusion, right? So illusion and vipralipsa, cheating tendency. Because there is an illusion, there is no perception of the reality is not perceived well. Of course, there will be cheating happening because of that. And then pramada, prone to do mistakes. Yeah, we are prone to do mistakes, and our senses are imperfect. Eyes cannot see what's there in the sky. We had to get the telescopes, and even those telescopes, they get outdated as the technology builds up. So everything about the conditioned soul, it is limited. These are the 4 defects. That's why just the pratyaksha and anumana are not enough to come to the conclusion of the absolute truth. We need shabda. we need the Shabda Praman. The Vedas, they are beyond these 4 defects. So Shabda Praman. Bhakti is based on Shabda Praman. So in this way, the next topic would lead to Bhakti. But this is, these are the 25. The lessons, multiple lessons from 25 gurus by Avadhuta Brahmana to the King Yadu. Okay, that's all, dear devotees, for today. So we'll quickly summarize what we have learned today. And it is very easy to summarize. The first thing was, the demigods actually. The demigods, when the demigods came, the prayers of the demigods are beautiful. I think that's the material to summarize. The rest of it is not that much anyway. So, the demigods and Brahma, when they came, meditation on the lotus feet. Wonderful. And then the reasons why each one worships Lord's lotus feet. Pure devotees worship Lord's lotus feet because they want to be in the internal energy of the Lord, not in the external energy. Yeah, that's one thing. And the 2 kinds of tirthas. One tirtha is touched by the lotus feet of the Lord, that's sacred waters of Ganga. And the other tirtha is Kada Amrita, Krishna Kada Amrita. These are the 2 tirthas. Sacred Ganges can take away our sins. But the Katha Amrita, Krishna Katha, takes away our sinful tendencies. Yeah. And so that's what we heard. And next, yes, so the demigods and Brahma, they leave. And all the demigod portions of Yadu, they are sent to Prabhasa. And now Uddhava comes. He glorifies Krishna Katha. It's so good to hear the glories of Krishna Katha. How Uddhava is saying that Krishna Katha Karna Piyusham Asadhya Tyajanti Anyas Praham Janaha. He's not saying there will be no miseries. The miseries are gone when Krishna Katha is the nectar of Krishna Katha is taken. So that's the potency of Krishna Katha. Means when we are relishing the pastimes of the Lord, Tava Vikriditam Krishna. So relishing the pastimes of the Lord and the qualities of the Lord displaces the miseries that we experience. That's why Kirtaniya Sadahari is important. And also honoring the remnants of the Lord. And this is how one overcomes the impossible ignorance. Impossible ignorance is overcome by chanting, remembering, and glorifying the Lord. Yeah. That's why it is to be done 24/7. Kirtaniya Sadahari. When we are not doing Kirtaniya Sadahari, then by default, the Kirtaniya Sadahari, the Maya takes over. The mind takes over. Yeah, if we are not singing the glories of the Lord, the mind is going to start its cassette. It's going to start singing its own song. That's not song. The mind is going to start its chatterbox if we don't sing the glories of the Lord. So it's better to just continuously sing the glories of the Lord. Otherwise, we have to hear the chatter of this mind. Yeah, and then Lord Krishna is saying when Uddhava asks him, Lord Krishna says, yes, Uddhava, you please stay back and you should be detached. And then how to get detached? And Lord Krishna says, with the jnana. Use your, with your jnana, with your knowledge, you acquire the knowledge and start practicing it. That's when you get the realization. Okay? And that is supposed to give you the perception of your pure self. And only then your mind will be satisfied. So it's not that you put separate attempts to satisfy your mind. No. The mind is going to be quiet only when you identify yourself spiritually. Yeah. And when the mind is fully satisfied like that, when there is not a lot of chatter going within, and when you are completely satisfied, then you will become dear to other jivas also. And in this way, you will not be affected by any miseries by anybody around. And in this way, liberated persons, they act like innocent child. They're spontaneous acting like innocent child. They're simple. That's simple. So this is what we heard. And so the next question was, how to get this jnana? Then Lord Krishna said, okay, use your logic, use your intelligence. And again, because it's a section of jnana, then in that regard, Lord Krishna said how Avadhuta Brahmana learned from 25 gurus. We have just heard that, the list of all those 25 gurus and what all they have learned. And one more thing, last thing I wanted to mention here is, when Uddhava was glorifying the Lord, he's saying how Nirvinnadir aham yuhi Rijinabhitapo tapto. This is Uddhava saying how he is distressed. How he is distressed with this material miseries, and now he wants to get detached. So that's one thing from that shloka. All the distresses in this material world are the prompts for us to get detached from the material platform and attach ourselves to spiritual platform. That is the purpose of the distress. The dukkhalayam, purpose of dukkham in this dukkhalayam is to push us to the spiritual platform, to remind us that we have to be on the spiritual platform. Detach from this material platform and stay on the spiritual platform. That's all, dear devotees. And the rest of the 25 gurus and their lessons, we heard them anyway, all of them. Few of them we said a little bit, we repeated a little more, spent a little time more, but that's the list though. Okay, so we will pause here. Yeah, and then, dear devotees, thank you all for your association. I honor your association. And Nikunja Vilasini Mataji, Pranam Prabhu, and all of you, we will see you soon.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Pranam to you, Mataji. So, shall we pause here? Yeah, so we can go.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, will do. Yes, yeah. All right.
Thank you for the nectarian katha, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you said Avadhuta is talking about which child, that was a good one, Mataji.
Yeah, yeah. All right, dear devotees. Yeah. Vanchakalparubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnava Thakura ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.